Welcome to Act 3 of Alpaca in the Sheepfield and the finale.
I'm T.A. Newman, your host. My team and I will be bringing to life cosmic tales using the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which contains mature themes, horror, character death, and loss of sanity. Our mystery can be found in the Miskatonic repository, where people like you and me can write scenarios for other players. We're proud to have this episode of the Miskatonic Playhouse sponsored by the Storytelling Collective, who provide an excellent course on scenario writing, which many of the team have taken to help improve their writing skills.
Last time, our investigators discovered a body torn apart close to a sheep farm where an alpaca resides. Returning to the village, they discover more about the murder victim and the possible threat on the island to do away with those who cause trouble.
Now it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice. Keeper, the stage is yours.
I'm just saying, if
So do you think
you
the community killed him?
Well, if you got to rip a man apart like that, I mean, you can't do that on your own. Maybe it was like 5 or 6 people, or they got boat equipment, they got those knives and things, and the fishing gear, and then there's the alpaca farm, and well, although the sheep farm with the alpaca, they could be with the fish equipment and the farm equipment. They could have ripped him apart, and they're all in it together for the community, you know?
Keeper, did I see anything particularly that could have been used in the way that Bill's describing in the barn when I saw the shearing tools, all well oiled and maintained?
There were many sharp implements in the barn, although they had all been stored for what you assumed was the winter at the time.
Gail will turn to Bill and say, well, there were plenty of implements in the barn which could have been used, but they all looked like they were, well, they'd not been used for a long time. They were stored properly. They were oiled.
It might not be those things. Hey, you saw, I didn't want to say this, but you saw Jim when we left, how he was banging the shit out of his boat with that hammery thing? And he's a good member of the community. Yeah, he's broken. Yeah, he's cut up. Maybe he's cut up because he cut up. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
How big, can I ask the keeper, is the bag of cocaine?
Is this intent to distribute or intent to use?
Yeah.
He's talking about Joey.
This is a slightly unreasonable amount of cocaine.
Okay.
So this is the majority of a brick.
So Joey's like, guys,
Damn.
that's a monumental amount of cocaine. I mean, he's probably dealing to people on the island. There's nothing to do here for fun. Do you know what I mean? Right? He's probably the only person dealing. I don't think this is about cards. I mean, come on. This is something else.
Yeah.
Bill, with your fantastic ears, can I have you make a listen check at this moment in time?
Ooh, 19 out of 80.
Yes.
There is some kind of commotion going on somewhere with raised voices.
Can I tell, are they men's voices, females' voices?
First of all, there's a female voice. And there's a male voice. Female voice. Yeah, a man and a woman are arguing somewhere, just on the edge of hearing.
I'll walk to where I think it is. If it's towards the window, I'm gonna have a little look out the window down into the street.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna tap Joey for the camera and just kind of.
Night's properly fallen by this point in time.
Okay.
Does the window open? Would the window open if I just gently kind of opened it to hear it better?
It looks like someone has fairly aggressively attempted to seal it shut to get rid of whatever drafts were coming in.
Joey's like, look, light in here, dark out there. I'm not going to pick up anything.
Okay, let's go down nice and quick. By the front, when we get to the door, we just crack it open a little bit. We see what we see. We can record what we hear.
The door is in the wrong direction. The door faces the sea.
He's like, okay, look, wherever we go, like, we've got to hide the stuff and give it to the police, right? So
Wait, what? We have to do what?
We got to hide this stuff. We got to show the police. We got to show the police these drugs. And he's like making a move for the cocaine to put it in his camera bag to keep it safe.
Bill's going to run down and he's going to try and sneak up to where and just try and record the argument. He really wants to capture what is being argued about. Even if they need to do a reconstruction video later, he's in his mind for this job, for this thing, an argument with the locals, possibly with Carol, could be gold. So he's
Island Mama.
So,
yeah.
You run down the stairs, and then you run round the corner, and so you catch the sound of a door slamming. You hear female voice screaming. And then Marcus storms past you, and basically the setup is that this is the main road that you are now on, and then there's like an alleyway behind the buildings, and Marcus storms into the alleyway behind you, so you don't get a good eye on him, and he's storming towards where the anchor is. And then you hear a scream, and then you hear like a horrible whelping noise.
Ugh.
And then silence. Can I just check what the others are doing as Bill is approaching this situation? Lucas?
Lucas plans on following Bill, but he just wants to reconcile with Joey and the whole let's hide or let's get the drugs to the police. That's going to be like, listen, I already know you play with the devil's dandruff. I don't care. If you keep that, I'm keeping the cash. And then he's running off towards wherever he last saw Bill.
Gail?
Gail's thinking that if she can diffuse this argument, or at least get into the argument and record or be recorded commenting upon it, or even in getting herself involved in interacting with it, this is going to be hot stuff for her career. So she's going to follow Bill down, ready to get involved.
All right, Joey, you have been left alone in the room with 3/4 of a block of cocaine.
Well, Joey has his own stash, so Joey's gonna like stash that cocaine, and because he thinks maybe there's gonna be a bit of a scrap, he actually takes his own little baggie out and does quite a hefty bump, and then starts making his way down the stairs. He's got the camera, but he's got the camera bag around his back, kind of thing, with all the stuff in it.
Excellent. Okay, and it's at that moment, Bill, that obviously this darkness falls. Actually, it's very dark. Like it's almost like you lose a lot of the right light around that alleyway. And as you and Gail approach it, Lucas sort of coming up behind you, actually all 4 of you end up sort of coming round to this alleyway. And there's like a red tint. It's a bit odd because the only street light that really is bathing this little alleyway in light is giving off this sickly red beam. Its shade tinged red with blood.
Oh.
Because Marcus' body has been torn apart with such unbelievable violence that it takes you a few seconds to understand what you are seeing. Blood splattered across every single surface, his head staring blankly ahead, several feet away from his torso. Chunks of his hair are missing, torn out of his head. Can I have a sand roll from everyone, please?
That sucks. I liked Marcus.
10 under 57.
All right. So,
oh no.
58 out of 55.
Be
Just about
1d4 plus 1 for those who failed, and 1 for those who passed.
Oh, 4. So that's 3 plus 1 is 4.
Oh, I got 4, so 5.
Lucas is also going down. I hit the 5.
All right. So for both for both Lucas and Bill, I'm going to need intelligence rolls.
Lucas for sure knows exactly what he's saying.
Lucas.
He understands with total clarity.
Intelligence.
Lucas
okay.
has just rolled a success on his intelligence roll. So, Lucas, there's a wonderful real-time bout of madness button in the roll 20, which I would like you to roll on.
Alrighty. Now there is. Yep, bingo. Awesome.
Excellent. Lucas, you're currently experiencing a bout of madness, and the way that actually comes about is you basically just sink down to your knees in absolute confusion, and you don't respond at all. Newman, for Bill, he's also experiencing a bout of madness, or did he?
His intelligence, it was 34 over 50, so he succeeded.
Okay. We can also on roll 20 roll on the bout of madness if you don't mind. Can you see where that is?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Excellent. So you've rolled a phobia.
Yeah.
Should
I roll D100?
You are no. What I'm going to say is, Bill, you are presently terrified of the dark. You are desperate to make sure you stay in the light, and for the next 6 rounds, you are absolutely, definitely going to be trying to stay in the light. Which leaves Gail and Pete. Can you both give me spot hiddens, as you're the only 2 cognizant members of the party at this point in time?
I 61 under 65. It's a regular success.
Okay.
I got 74 out of 60, but I think I'm going to spend 14 points luck.
Yeah. Okay.
In-game resources, baby.
All right.
That might be a bad move of what's going to happen, but I'm going to do it anyway.
What happens here is sort of like you just hear Lucas thump down behind you to his knees, and the shallow but constant breath of Bill as he begins breathing excitedly, anxiously, in confusion at this horrifying sight. And the 2 of you, your gaze just sort of tends up. You look up, and Marcus's arm is just dangling on this power line above you. The power line slowly comes down and touches the other power line.
Oh boy.
And there's an explosion, and half the lights in the city go out. Sorry, in the town go out. Joey and Gail, I'm going to need a sand roll from you.
Uh, 84 over 56.
Okay, that's just a 1d3.
Okay.
86 over 51.
Okay, again, it's just a 1d3 this time.
That's another 3 points of sanity lost for me.
The other 2, you are presently in a bout of madness, so you do not roll for San. How lovely.
It's another 2 off for me.
Okay. Right, yes, you are staring at this horrifying sight in front of you. It is suddenly incredibly dark. The lights are off. Lucas has collapsed. Bill, you are terrified. Gail and Joey, you're keeping your head in the game, but everything has suddenly gone very, very wrong. Let's start with Bill.
If the street lamps have gone out and everything around us have gone out, I turn the light on my phone, and I basically just kind of shrink into myself, and I almost kind of just reactively am now moving, because every time I see the light is somewhere, that means it's not somewhere else. So it's a case of okay, and every time one of those guys move in the darkness as well, I'm like kind of on them. So I'm actually kind of probably moving against towards a back wall, maybe towards.
Every surface is covered in blood.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm almost trying not to step in it as well because I've got really lovely shoes on, and I don't want it splashing on my trousers. And I'm kind of looking down. I'm just kind of like tiptoeing almost. I don't really know in which direction. I'm just tiptoeing away from what I think is the center point of the explosion of this body.
You basically have a choice, the direction Marcus came from, or you can go ahead towards the anchor.
He came from the alley, didn't he?
He came from the other side of the alley, yeah. Let's see what Gail gets up to. Gail, where are you? How are you reacting to all this?
I think there's a definite reminder of what Gail saw up on the tourist path.
Mm-hmm.
And a thought comes back. Didn't Sean say that Cole's arm was also up a tree?
Yeah.
So with Marcus's arm also up, seeing it on the electric wires, Gail's thinking that there's something going on here, that there's some trail to follow. Is there a ladder in the alleyway that can take Gail up to get a bit of a higher view up?
No, it's just a normal alleyway.
In that case, Gail is going to stride forwards towards the anchor.
Okay.
Because
and
we
Joey?
saw,
Joey's going to switch the light on his camera, which I assume is quite a bright LCD type thing, and turn it around to Bill, and he's like, "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay." And he's quite, he's not like scared as such. He's a bit in shock. His heart's going because of all the coke, but he's a bit like, he's more excited than anything. He's like, calm down, it's okay, we're fine, it's okay. But Bill, it's all right, it's okay. Calm down. We'll get you a smoothie or something soon. It's fine. Okay, just chill. Lucas, Lucas, are you okay?
Lucas is just on his knees staring forward, and there's like this steady drip of blood dropping from somewhere on high, and every time a drop hits his forehead, he's just staring forward like, are we filming? Drop. Or are we filming? Drop.
We're filming. Lucas,
Drop.
we're filming. It's okay. I'm getting all of this. Come on. And I tried to help Lucas to his feet.
Okay, Gail, you were storming towards the anchor? Yeah, so as the rest of them sort of are still gathering themselves in the alleyway, you open the door to the anchor, sort of marching quite aggressively, and there's a couple of fishermen sitting in some seats, having some dinner. Behind the bar, Carol is quietly pouring a pint. The lights are on, the fire is burning, it's beautiful, quiet, lovely place. Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Joey is dragging essentially Bill and Lucas in, and he's like, oi, there's right in the alley, he's exploded. Someone's exploded. Go and look.
They all sort of stand up and are looking at you. Carol goes, what are you exploded? What are you talking about?
Go and look. He's exploded. Look. And I point down.
What have you done?
I point down to like our shoes, and we've walked in like bloody footprints.
Jesus.
I'm like, look.
For all this, Seonaidh, what have you all done? And she sort of begins marching past you and heads for the alleyway.
Are there lights on in the pub?
There are lights on in the pub, yeah.
Bill will just go and walk towards and sit by the fire.
Lucas, that's about 6 rounds, so you're still sort of you're hitting the end of your bout of madness now. You're beginning to become a little bit more responsive at this point in time. And yeah, Carol marches out the building, and you all turn and stare at her. Gail
will turn towards Carol and follow out the door. What do you mean? What have we done? It was Marcus. He was shouting at somebody and then he exploded.
People don't explode. What have you brought to our island?
Well, the exploding people were here before we got here. Cole.
You just turn up and start asking your questions, and you just, oh my God! Oh my God, look at this. Seonaidh, take you. Seonaidh, take you. And as she says that,
Oh God.
the moonlight fades and a real darkness falls, and the 4 of you are standing sort of back to back outside of the anchor. And she's standing in this alleyway over here, staring at all of you, and rolling down the street, coming towards you, is this just black wall of writhing, tentacled, formless nightmare. And it's just slowly but steadily heading towards all four of you.
I've run back into the pub.
We need a sand roll first.
We just came out of Bouts of Madness.
Yeah,
Bill,
I
we're
haven't
going
come out
straight
yet.
back.
I'm still terrified of the darkness. Now
Yeah,
the darkness
yeah.
tentacles.
Going
nearly
straight
forced
back.
me.
In fairness, Newman is correct. I am going to roll that. I'm going to roll that he has not come out of his bout of madness and is still terrified of the darkness.
Holy
So
crap.
does not need to roll here.
Good for you, baby.
I mean, I am internally screaming.
Lucas, you're surprisingly chill with this, considering everything. Gail
0-4.
and
Whoa,
Joey.
we're hitting low numbers.
Not
Nice.
2.
Ooh.
Hey, a 2, 3, and a 4 on sand checks.
Yeah.
Nice.
But this whole thing just proves one rule: is just stay in the pub. Just stay in the pub.
Still need a pub.
Nothing
Just don't need a
happens,
pub.
right?
The Winchester.
You are all staring at this black mist. Bill starts tumbling back into the pub just as the fishermen begin tearing their way out of it. What do the other three of you do?
Is Carol aware of the rolling darkness? Does she seem to be?
She seems to be in a moment of shock herself, and she's staring at all of you with wide-eyed terror.
I'm gonna say to Joey, are you rolling? As we slowly back away from the tentacle mass that is descending down the alleyway.
Are we kind of cornered, like as it's in the alleyway and it's pushing us down into the alleyway kind of thing?
No, you're in the open street. Hold on, I
Okay.
just myself my pencil. Okay, you are in your street. You are in the street. So going from where you are, you could head along the street down towards the harbor area, or you could head along the alleyway, which would lead you back out towards the trees and the rest of the island.
Okay, Joey's like, I'm rolling, and he's backing away. He's like, get in the pub, get in the pub, get in the pub.
Lucas is going to make a mad dash for the pub and go directly behind the bar in the sheer hopes that there is a rifle, a shotgun, some type of a firearm being kept back there.
Awesome. I'm going to need all of you to now quietly, first of all, tell me your dexterities.
Row.
60 for me.
80.
50.
50.
60 was
Joey,
and then the other two were 50. Okay, now I'm going to need you all to make constitution rolls.
But I don't wanna. Hard success.
Under 45.
An extreme success is what gets you the bonus move point. And then a fail will lose you a move point.
I got a regular 42 over 45.
Yeah, regular 47 over 60.
So did everyone pass? Excellent. So I just need all of your moves now. Your move rates.
9 for me.
9.
Lucas on a 7.
And Gail's on 7 too.
Oh dear.
Excellent. And you all make your way into the Anchor. The Anchor pub, as this thick fog rolls in, it arrives at the door. Lucas, you are desperately trying to find something to shoot at or fire at. Bill, you are trying desperately to get close to the fire as it slowly dies as this blackness comes towards you. There is a back door behind you all, which leads deeper into the Anchor somewhere. And there is this mist coming towards you. And it is going to be Bill first. Bill, what do you do? You have 3. So for those who don't know the chase rules, I should probably very quickly explain. Those of you who have 9 movement points, which is Bill and Joey, you're going to get 3 actions per round. You can try and do something, you can try and fight, or you can try and run and move away in some manner. To try and do something which requires a roll will take 1 movement action. You have 3 per round. those of you have 7, which is Lucas and Gail. You have 1 action per round, which is probably going to be used for running away, but maybe not. There we have it. Bill, what do you do?
Bill is going to do exactly what Lucas was going to do, but not guns. He's looking for flashlights. He's looking for torches. Is he still in his... I mean, having seen this, I imagine he's probably not come out of his... I'm fine with darkness now.
No, I think it's reinforced at this point in time.
Yeah. So he is frantically looking around for some kind of light, like a torch.
I'll take a luck roll.
Okay, luck roll. Oh no, that's definitely going to be a fail. No, yeah, it's 98 over 51.
Yeah, no, you waste some time trying to find something, but there's nothing like this in the bar.
Then I have my phone out with my light on, and I think the last thing I'm going to do is run to the back door and open it.
You open it up onto a dark corridor leading out in front of you.
Oh, double damn it.
And maybe I say, Joey, have you got your camera lights?
Excellent. And it's actually going to be Joey next.
Joey's, I assume, like he's got like the brightest light that's available. Is any of this darkness like engulfing that light at all, or?
When you shine your light onto this dark fog rolling towards you, it's dissipated the same way that light tends to be with a fog, so that you sort of see it just about lights up the fact that there is darkness there, but then all you see is this writhing mass, because the darkness itself seems to reach out towards you. It's almost like the more you stare at it, the more there's almost shapes in there, and like forms come out, and it's this sort of tentacle thing reaching for you as it kind of comes towards you.
Yeah, Joey's like, this light isn't doing shit, and then turns around, belts into the pub, and starts going to that back entrance.
Excellent. So are you going to drag Bill along with you down this corridor?
Yeah, I thought he was obviously at the corridor, but I'm going to go and join him. And
he's sort of in your way, so the two of you are going to barrel down.
I give him a really hard shove into that corridor.
I'm going to
get moving.
I am absolutely going to take a luck roll from both of you as you try and barrel down this corridor that you can't really see.
I'm glad I spent all those luck points. 46 out of 26, so a fail.
38 over 51.
Bill, you barrel down to a door in front of you and like slam into the back door of this place, whereas Joey puts his foot in a bucket, trips and falls to the ground in front of you. And Gail will have you next.
Gail is just gonna run. She's seen Joey and Bill heading down down the corridor. She's gonna follow.
Yeah, so she can quite easily make her way down that corridor, past Joey, who's on the ground, and Bill slamming at this back door. What do you do?
If Joey is on the floor, I think Gail might just try and help him up, pull him up while she runs past.
Excellent. Cool. Well, then in that case, the three of you have now reached this back door behind you, and it is Lucas.
Lucas, after seeing his comrades running off, is going to scream over his shoulder, "Why are we rolling?" And then he is going to continue behind that bar to look for that weapon.
Okay. I will give you a spot hidden here.
All right. His leap over the bar is very ungraceful because he is not a very agile man. So this is like not sexy as I'm looking for my spot hidden. Sorry. So he's like knocking pitchers over and hard success.
Yeah. Do you know what? I will give you a baseball bat. Carol has a baseball bat behind here.
Yeah,
and it looks, like it's been used a couple of times as well. It's a big, hefty baseball bat. It's now in your hand. It does 1d6 damage on brawls.
Oh, okay. Shoes on the other foot now.
So as this mass of blackness kind of comes towards you, Lucas, it's pretty much just reached you, and it's just sort of like it's going to envelop you in a moment if you don't begin running. But Bill, you are standing at this back door. What do you do?
Open it, push it open, run out into the street, light.
It's locked.
I don't know how to do locked doors, so I just begin kicking the shit out of it and screaming at it.
That sounds incredible. Give me a strength.
It does. That sounds amazing.
Right, a strength check. Oh, okay, this is all right, I think. Oh yeah, 48 over 70.
Yeah, the door. It's interesting. So what happens is the lock stays exactly where it is, but you kick it, and the hinges just come off, and you sort of fall out, and you find yourself in this small area behind it. On one side, there's like a ladder that seems to lead up onto the roof, and on the other side, there's this fairly high fence that you'd have to climb over.
Do I still have movement, or is that me?
Yeah, you've used one of your 3.
So yeah, just screaming, no! Kicking the door, smashing the door, looking up, looking around. What's closest, the ladder or the fence?
They are equidistant.
Your face is everything right now.
I think Bill just goes to the ladder. He just runs to the ladder and he just kind of like.
Yeah. So Bill, you use your second action to climb up onto the roof. You are now standing on the roof of the anchor. There is you can run along the anchor, but that would head back towards where the Seonaidh is, or you could try and leap to the next building, which would be a really impressive jump roll.
Do it.
Just like if I run and I see the Seonaidh on one side and I see that darkness, there's not even a question. It's just a turn, sprint, and I got this.
All right, give me a jump roll, Bill. I believe you have some points in this.
I have 20 points in this. Yeah, I got this. I don't got this. That is 79 over 20.
Excellent. So all you make the jump. It wasn't like you were ever at risk of falling to your death. But what does happen is you take a tumble and you twist your ankle when you land. So I'm going to take a 1d4 here. You may roll it yourself.
Ooh, he might leave his whole ankle behind.
Oh, a 1.
Ooh!
A 1. Okay, that's really good. Reduce your movement rate from 9 to 8. You're only going to get 2 actions per round because you've twisted your ankle. But you are fairly far away now. Joey, you are now also in this open little back area with a ladder to one side and a fence to the other.
I'm going to try and just climb the fence as the nearest thing. I've ditched my camera at this point, and I've got the camera bag, but I'm going to try and just scramble over this fence.
Awesome. That'll be a climb roll to try and get over the fence.
This is out of 20.
Yeah.
And it's a 58.
Okay. So you can't immediately get over this fence because it is just really you can't climb very well. You actually end up having to use the rest of your movement, but you do eventually manage to clamber yourself over, and you're now on the other side of this fence.
I've got mad coke strength right now.
Yeah, you also are just
popped
up on.
I've got huge dilated pupils.
Gail, you have a similar problem. You see Joey very ungracefully leaping over a fence, Bill flying up a ladder. Which way do you go?
Ladder looks easier than the fence.
Ladder looks easier. So yeah, Gail, you are up on this roof and you just watch Bill jump to the other building, land, very badly twist his ankle, and he's in a mess over there. Now it is Lucas's go. Lucas, you are staring into the void.
Yeah, he's looking down the void. The void is looking at him. He's going to point the baseball back somewhere behind the void towards the door. And he's going to say, "You crazy wench, this could have been everything for me." And he's going to say, "Seonaidh, take you." And then he's going to swing at it.
Oh, fantastic. I want to. You know what? You're the first person to ever attack the Seonaidh. Congratulations!
Yay! May my death be
Congratulations!
glorious.
You swing through the mist, and you are enveloped by the mists. Excuse me as I find the right passage.
It's not even an amount of damage. It's a passage.
I think you got this. You're gonna be okay.
I'm good, guys. Whew.
This is the secret to winning the
Essentially.
entire scenario.
Right here.
You cannot see. You cannot hear. Suddenly, you feel absolutely nothing at all. You're paralyzed in the moment, and you feel the darkness completely overwhelm your senses. There is nothing but blackness. You're held firmly in place. Suddenly, there's an overwhelming cacophony of visions that fill your head. You experience the sudden pain of sensation after millennia of quiet nothingness. You experience a scared and confused dash through a small tunnel and then the brightness of the night. You envelop a man in front of you. You experience stories of the Seonaidh and alpacas protecting sheep. You take your place as the ancient Seonaidh. You protect the community. You protect the sheep. And suddenly you experience this horrendous pain of being torn apart. You experience the pain of the nightmare's victim as he tears Cole Forrester limb from limb. For a moment, you are Cole Forrester as his head is torn from his body and you relive his last seconds of terrified consciousness, staring out at the rest of your body as you die. So the first thing I'm going to need is a SAN roll from you.
Oh, wow. A sand roll for me?
Yes, Lucas.
Wow.
You're not dead yet.
I'm not quite dead.
I'm going
That's
to
a
need
proud fail.
1d20 SAN loss.
Shit. Oh, phenomenal. Okay. 1d20 sand loss,
That's
guys.
for a fail. We failed the SAN roll, 54 out of 40.
Coming at you hot with a 12.
12 SAN loss. So you are now indefinitely insane. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. Beyond the point of no return should be
Beautiful.
right now.
Okay, now you're going to make a contested power roll against the Seonaidh.
Wow. Okay. Just a regular success.
So the Seonaidh has a hard success. Do you have 22 luck?
I damn sure do, and I'm going to burn it like a boss.
Exciting. This is fantastic news. Roll 1d10.
Okay. Apologies for the delay, team and
No
editors.
worries.
Roll 20 is not my friend. 6.
Excellent. I'm glad to say, Lucas, that you've just gained 6 Cthulhu mythos as you understand the concept of the formless nightmare taking on the memories of others, and you're beginning to understand what sort of creature this is, and you understand there are more things in this world than you care to name. You are, however, experiencing a bout of madness as you run screaming out of this black mist that is chasing you. And can you please roll me a bout of madness?
Got your back.
You
Violence.
want
Yes.
to kill everyone and everything you see. If you meet another member of your investigative team, you're going to attack them with this baseball bat.
For the sheep, because clearly they have to be protected.
Yes.
They are sacred.
Yes, just like an alpaca.
Got it.
Excellent. Fantastic. Bill, you've rolled your ankle. You are on the roof across from the anchor. You can try and jump down off this roof somehow, or you can look about looking for another way down.
I've got 2 actions
You
now.
have
Is that
2
right?
actions this round, yes.
So I am going to have a first look first. I'm assuming I'm going in the direction that's away from the darkness.
Yes.
Then I'm going to look for some way down
Yeah.
in that kind of...
You quickly discover a hatch, which can lead you into this house, but you don't know what's down there. Your other option is to try and climb down the outside of the house.
Okay. I got a bad ankle, but climbing is my friend. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna climb down. I don't want to go to somebody else's house. They could be... I'm starting to connect the dots here. I think I know what's going on.
All right.
Well, I don't, but I think I do.
Excellent. Give me a climb roll.
.001.
Wow.
Yeah, I do it on one leg.
Bill, for those who don't know, I'm a professional parkour coach. And so when it comes to fully understanding how one would go about descending from a building, you are talking to probably the most qualified keeper you can. And so when I tell you, you side vault, so you do a step through, turning into a cat hang off the side, dropping down, placing your feet on the windowsill, you jump back, push off, do a descend, drop into a second cat leap, do a 180 cat back, land on a wall, step through, drop down, land and roll. You know that I'm telling you the truth.
Standing ovation, keeper. Bravo.
Excellent. Now, Bill, that was fantastic. Beautifully executed parkour. You have a choice. Basically, you're standing on this road. If you take a right, you head off into the forest and the urban area. If you turn left, you head down to the harbour.
Ooh.
Harbour, forest. And I can't see anybody or anything going on.
There is a lot of chaos behind you.
I'm going to go to the forest because this thing came from the water.
Okay. Joey, you have managed to clamber over the fence. In front of you is the harbour. You see and hear Bill drop down a street across, and he seems to be heading up towards the forest. What do you do?
Joey is going to make a beeline for Jim's boat in the harbour. He's got an amount of drugs in his bag that he thinks he can make a very good living off, selling it in Glasgow for a small period of time. And he doesn't have any real affiliation with these guys other than he was a freelance cameraman on this job. So he's going to go straight to Jim's boat and see if he can maybe get it working and get back to the mainland.
Fantastic. So, Joey, it's not a particularly far distance to run over to the boat because obviously it's pretty much right there. And their Jim is nowhere to be found. The boat looks like it has just been repaired in some way. It's a fishing trawler. It does have a motor and an engine. I'm going to require a luck roll to determine if the keys are in the boat or not.
Okey-dokey.
Oh, come on.
Oh, that is a 40 out of 26. There's no keys.
There is no keys in this boat. So you're on this boat. You don't know a lot about boats. So you don't know if it is in a good... you don't fully understand, but there's some ropes that you're beginning to untangle and there's some other bits and pieces, but you realize there's no key. So this boat, you don't know what you could do, but you definitely can't use this boat.
Wait, could I maybe potentially look at it with a mechanical repair kind of view, or see if I can maybe sort of jimmy it in some way?
Try and hotwire it?
Hotwire it? Yeah.
I'm going to require a hard mechanical repair for that.
Okay. I'm happy to try for that. And yeah, it's 82 out of 40. So Joey's just desperately, like, he's broken the thing off the bottom. He's like desperately fiddling with these wires, and he's just like, come on, and he's just making a hash of it.
Awesome. Gail, you are on a roof.
I'm on a roof.
You watch Bill do some parkour. It's very impressive.
Have I seen Lucas exit out the front of the...
Lucas is below you at the bottom of the ladder, screaming.
Oh, he's buying, as a point of clarification.
Sorry, Lucas has run out the back. No, that's fine. I think I'm going to have to try and follow Bill by jumping over.
Awesome. Give me a jump roll.
If I can. Well, that is a 69 over 20.
Nice.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Can you describe this one in one move, one parkour move?
The thing is, Gail, right? It's not that you aren't making it there. It's that you're landing on an awkward surface, and so basically you land, and your ankle just goes.
Oh God! Oh, bleh.
Roll 1d4 for me.
Ugh.
Determining how many toes you've got left.
Gail, you are presently unable to run on that ankle. It is. You have twisted your ankle very badly. You've taken 4 points of damage, and you are pretty much incapacitated for the next round as you vaguely try and deal with it.
Oh,
Lucas is coming to help.
Lucas is on his way to help, babe.
Are you, Lucas? Are you heading up the ladder? Or are you heading over the fence?
From his current mindset, where is the closest threat to the sheep? Who can he see that he thinks he can grab fastest? So he's going to go say hi to Gail.
Awesome. So you're getting up. Give me that jump roll.
Okay. Holy cow.
Oh,
I'm so sorry, Gail. 24 under 30 success. This is with the bat in his hand.
that's so good.
Okay, brilliant. You land very well, Lucas, like a trained parkour practitioner. Bill, you are running into the forest. Give me. So I find yourself rushing through this giant bush that's in your way. You can barrel through it, and you can try and just do a con roll to try and put up with it, or you can try and run around it and try and find your way in, but you might end up lost in amongst the trees.
I will give a con roll, aiming to just get through. It's just about getting as far from the darkness as possible. 10. No. Yes, 10.
It's 10, 1, and 100 you're really struggling with, isn't it?
Zeros confuse me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a phobia I have.
Yeah, so you're obviously very fit. You're barreling through there, and Bill, you're well out of it right now. So we're going to drop you out of the order as we sort of figure out what the rest of people are doing. We'll come back to you in a minute. You have fundamentally, for the moment, escaped the Seonaidh.
I think I have a place that I was heading for, if that's okay. I don't know whether I'd be able to get there and locate it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to try and run essentially kind of to the farm, to the quarry, to the hills. That's kind of where I'm aiming for.
Brilliant. Okay. Joey, you are presently on a boat that will not start, and you cannot get it to start. Sitting beside this boat is a little rowboat.
How far is it to the mainland?
It's 20 minutes by the Calmac, so it's good. You're going to be rowing all night.
Oh, I don't know. Joey's sort of looking at his options. He's thinking, do I hook up with the others? Screw it. He's going to go in the rowboat. He's going to go in the rowboat. He's going to try and row to shore.
Awesome. We'll leave you there for the moment, Joey, as we resolve what happens with Gail and Lucas. Gail, you are incapacitated. Lucas, you are beating Gail to death with a bat.
He wants to be interviewed by Gail. So he's asking her, interview me, ask me questions. I have seen things you cannot imagine. Bah, slam. Ask me a question. Bah.
I'm going to take a brawl with a bonus die here because obviously Gail can't fight back.
Or Gail. This is me rolling with a purple, correct? Purple die in D20?
Yes, well done.
Oh, there it is. Please miss her.
So it's +1, so it's hard. You rolled a 97 and an 8. So that's a hard success.
Oh, God. Sorry, Gail.
Now, I'll give 1d6 for the bat, and then do you have a damage bonus?
Let's see the bottom of his sheet here. He shouldn't. His strength isn't that high. No, he shouldn't.
All right, so it's simply 1d6 damage that you do to Gail here.
That's the other leg. That's the other leg.
Gail will look up.
So you do 6 damage.
Yeah. Going for that other ankle now.
Okay.
Gail, is that half your hit points?
That is not only half of my hit points, but all of my remaining hit points.
Excellent. Gail, can you give me a Constitution roll to see whether or not Lucas kills you?
Yes, of course I can.
Bridgett, what have you done?
Bloody hell.
85 over 45.
Lucas, would you like to narrate maybe the next 30 seconds or so as you beat Gail to a bloody pulp on this roof?
It's not as climactic or haunt. It's probably more haunting than anything else. The bat keeps coming down until Gail isn't even recognizable anymore, until Gail is pulp, but that doesn't stop that bat from coming down, and he's just begging her again and again, interview me. It's my turn to be on the camera. Interview me. Ask me about the Seonaidh. Ask me about, and he's just every single time it's a question, it's bang until the sound is no longer crunchy through bone, is actually crunching onto the roofing at the top. And he just keeps asking her again and again, interview me, interview me. I have content, interview me. I told you this was worth it. Bang, 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 until he's completely sweated out and he's convinced that the interview was successful.
Brilliant. Let's cut to Bill. Bill, you are rushing towards the farm. You've basically been running along these paths for 5 minutes now. You finally kind of get to this hilltop, and you see the hilltop, and you see the tractor that was in Sean's farm area, and it's dug into this hill, and suddenly there's this big excavation site around that cave. And standing outside of the cave shaft is this very confused looking Sean McCain as you approach.
Sean, it's all crazy back there. You gotta help. You gotta help. What I mean, this is going on crazy. What the hell's going on with the tractor in here?
I lost a sheep. It was down the hole. I had to open the hole to get down. I had to get down. And he sort of points, and where there was that very small opening, the tractor's clearly cut open, and now you can see there is a small but definite pathway down into the hilltop.
Sean? Can you hear me?
What?
Do you have a flashlight?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay. I'm gonna be with my phone light. I'm going in. I've got I this is away from the thing. If this is where it's from, which is the dots that Bill's putting together, there might be a way to stop it, trap it, kill it, do something, hide from it. But also, Sean is really scaring him.
You crawl down into this hole that Sean's sort of excavated out, and you sort of slip down. It's a bit like a slide, and you come across. You were right. There's a metal door just here, just staring at you. You sort of open it. Just walking in. Inside, it's a cramped room. Maybe some kind of laboratory? Shattered glass vials at some point ran along the wall and connected in odd and difficult to follow patterns. Your eyes water as you realize some of these pipes seem to move through each other. It's an unpleasant, sulfurous smell permeating the air. You feel slightly queasy standing here. But there's evidence of a cave-in that shattered one of these large glass tubes. One of these gas canisters that's sort of sitting along wall has collapsed to the side. It looks like maybe something leaked out of it. The writing that covers the canister and the walls and the blinking terminals is like nothing you've ever seen before. And as you
I'm taking pictures on my phone.
and as you stare at the terminal, this language you've never seen before, it sort of like flashes into your head. And if you feel like, as if by staring at them, you can learn something more here, Bill, something deeper. Joey, you are rowing your little rowboat out to shore, and this black mist comes rolling across the island.
Oh,
And it's no longer just a small little thing. It is now just an absolute wall of darkness. And it kind of comes to the very edge of the island and moves from one side to the other. It's 10, 20, 30 foot high. It's huge. And then it just begins roiling over the top towards you. And you and your tiny little boat, the wall of darkness is just descending on your tiny little boat. What do?
I row faster.
Excellent. It kind of comes down, reaching towards you. Joey, can you give me a sand roll, please?
My pleasure. That is a 29 out of 49.
Pass. You are just so hopped up on coke. You are rowing so fast. You are going and going and going and going. Phil, the terminal blinks and suddenly you understand. It's saying that experiment number 004 has escaped containment and is loose. You now understand a formless nightmare has been released and a decontamination team is on their way. You're asked to stay still and await disintegration. Can you make a POW roll, please, Bill?
Power roll. I got 61 over 60. Can I use luck?
Yeah.
I'm using luck.
You're confused, you're disoriented, but you have control of your body.
I am taking heed of the instructions, but the last one has a little niggle, so I'm going to not stay still and await disintegration. I'm going to turn and run as fast as my ankle will let me back out to Sean, where I will, if needs be, ask him to await disintegration.
Amazing. Joey, just as this tentacle reaches out for you and you're just about to be enveloped by the nightmare, suddenly from above, a giant, blinding, bright light appears like a spotlight. And you're just in this unspeakably bright light. You shield your eyes from it. It's horrifying. And you hear like a despairing scream as this darkness is pulled up, this like flying saucer thing above you just drags this creature up, and it screams and it writhes and it twists and it's pulled up, it pulls up, it's pulled up, it's pulled, and suddenly it's gone. The moonlight is returned. The stars return to the sky, and you're just quietly rolling your boat along. Bill.
Oh,
sorry, Joey.
Well, I was going to say I do the biggest, fattest line of cocaine at that point and carry on rowing as hard as I can. Do I need to roll for sanity for that, or? Wow.
Let's leave it there for the moment. I think we can summarize this because we're just hitting the head beats now. Bill, you are standing at this site and you and Sean stare at it. And then a few seconds later, suddenly you and Sean and the entire hill are just enveloped in this bright, bright white light. And suddenly, Sean, you feel a pull. And you're being pulled up towards the light. What do?
I hold on to Sean. I just kind of reach out and grab him.
Sean's
and just
being pulled up too.
And I just hold him in closer. Is there anything else near me that I can grab onto?
Try grabbing the tractor.
I will try and I will one hand on Sean, one hand on the tractor.
The tractor starts lifting up as well. In fact, the entirety of the hilltop just disappears and is gone. Lucas, can you roll a D3 for me, please? I'd like to know how many people you murdered.
Correction, how many people I showed the light. Looks like I just got, what, one?
Excellent. So,
please let it be Carol.
Oh, hold on. You rolled the D6, you got a 3.
Yeah, you told me to roll a D3 though, right?
Yes. So you killed two people.
Two more people. Apologies. Yep. Oh, one, two.
So you killed Gail and another person.
Okay.
I think it was Carol, wasn't it?
Carol would need to understand what's going on. She's the mama of the island. She needs to know it's important to protect her flock.
Yeah. And so when you were arrested for murder the next day and you were dragged away from this island by the police, screaming and ranting and raving, what sort of things do you say to the gathered press as they're taking your photo, shoving all of the things? Suddenly you are in the spotlight. Suddenly you are the focus of all these paparazzi as they ask you why you killed people, why you invented this murder story. What were you doing?
I'll say the one thing after his insanity fully settles in, the only thing he can respond to when asked, presented with any inquiry is,
Joey, you arrive the next morning on the edge of the west coast of Scotland in your little rowing boat. Your hands are bleeding and calloused and torn to bits. But you have your half brick of cocaine. You've lost your camera equipment, and Glasgow's a couple of hours away. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and just sort of make my way back to the nearest town. Maybe just get the train back to Glasgow, back to where I live. Bandage up my wounds a little bit, make it look like I'm not rattled, just nothing that'll sort of like alert anyone, and then sort of try and just make it back to my flat in one piece.
Excellent. I'm going to ask you for one final luck roll to determine if you overdose on cocaine over the course of the next couple of weeks.
Oh, well,
fantastic.
This is where I spent all those luck points, and I'm like, oh, great, now a character dies. It's 78 out of 26. So Joey, having gone through these experiences, sinks into a spiral of despair, and just is doing more and more every night. Doesn't even bother to sell it, to be honest.
Yeah, so you do during that period you do kind of watch the news, and so you see the stories reporting how the entire top of a hill is just gone. Sounds like some kind of explosion happened. It's assumed that Lucas was trying to cover up the violent murders he caused. And generally the whole thing becomes this spectacular paparazzi madness as they managed to figure out a way to blame Lucas for everything that happened. They managed to spin it in this crazy, macabre, obsessed producer decided to take matters into his own hands and started creating his own murders. And it became an entire thing. It's all over the news, and you sort of watch it in disgust as you just do coke until you're dead. And Bill. There are fates worse than disintegration. And over the course of the next few years, the Migo dismantle your body, they put it back together, they experiment on you, and eventually you end up with your brain in a jar on a shelf. thank you all for playing Alpaca on the Sheepfield. It was wonderful having you all. What a brilliant set of finishes. It was really enjoyable.
That was
I hope you
brilliant.
had fun.
Oh my
Thank you,
God.
Keeper. That was so
Thank you
good.
so much, Hedge.
Bravo,
That was
Well
fantastic.
done. Yeah. Well done, Hedge. Great
Amazing.
work. Great work.
Wow.
Wow. Brain in jar
On a shelf.
on a shelf.
Can't forget the shelf.
We're going to do a quick round the table, but just a commentary on something that we enjoyed from the game. So, Stu, please tell us what was a defining moment or a fun moment for you.
I think the climax with the Seonaidh and just the way that we've been dropped these hints throughout the entire thing about the alpaca and the sudden twist that actually the Seonaidh is the alpaca. I think was an absolutely fantastic twist in this. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And also first death on the Call of Cthulhu game. I'll take that.
Hey.
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 As deaths go, that's about as Call of Cthulhu as you can possibly
Oh,
get.
absolutely.
Oh yeah. I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Bridgett, over to you.
So yeah, actually, one of my favorite scenes of the story was actually yours playing Bill. That you were so adamant that you were going to have bottled water at the anchor. It's those itty bitty role playing moments that really bring so much life and so much organic fluid to a story. And then the fact that you failed the role and we all saw you got a bottle of water that we knew was bullshit. Brilliant. That was just chef's kiss on the keeper. And I love the fact that your character doubled down over bottled water.
Yeah. Joe, I have to say, it's not my turn to speak, but that was it came from the pre-gen, that was like a key thing for the character in terms of their things. So a really good something to role play from as well. That pre-gen gave it something to kind of work with there. So yeah, really cool. Pete, over to you.
Well, I think the first one was that the pre-gen was from Manchester, which meant I didn't really have to put on an accent, which is quite nice. Just generic Northern England was really good. But for the story, I thought it was really good, really, really good. I like the fact I always like things that like Mr. X, and I like the fact that it actually hinged on this guy's lost sheep. Like that was like a little minor thing thrown in, but the fact that was like kind of the instigator of a lot of the stuff I thought was brilliant. And I really liked the modern kind of twist at the end. I know it was like Mego, but with the technology and all that kind of stuff, wasn't expecting that. I was expecting sort of like old folklore and that kind of thing because of the setup with Scotland and stuff. And I thought it was a really nice little twist at the end to sort of just change up things and surprise everyone. I really liked it.
Yeah, and for me, I think the two things that I really, really liked, one, going off what Pete was saying there, as a scenario, it felt like as a player that had a very filmic kind of pace to it. And like there were moments where you kind of, you'd done the investigation, you talked to these characters, now the big thing's happening. There's got to be some kind of resolution. Here's this other little moment that's going on. And there was it felt very filmic, quite cinematic in the way that it kind of played out. But I imagine Keeper, that was obviously, that's a lot down to you as well, telling the story and, telling the way that you've kind of presented it, which was brilliant, was amazing. For me, I think my favorite thing was probably Sean McCain. The NPC, Sean McCain, the farmer, sure. And the way you played him as well, Hedge. I think I haven't read the scenario because we wanted to play it, but when I'm reading it, I really hope in the scenario it is, this is a way to play the character. This is his voice. This is his glazed look, and because I think that was so. We got to interact with it. It's something for us. As much as it's an NPC thing, it's actually for us because we get to interact with it. And I really appreciate that. I really liked that aspect of it. So, that's from me. So, Keeper, over to you.
I have easily the thing that really stands out for me from the playthrough this evening was the way Stu actually ran the interviews. So that was a really cool thing that you just did. And every single time it gave a real feel of professionalism, but also it brought the group together. It gave them things to do. It kind of gave outcomes to the story, and it made it feel like you were journalists. So it kind of takes away from that. Sometimes when you play Call of Cthulhu, there's a suspension of disbelief as you abandon your real job and investigate the mystery. No, you really stayed on track throughout, which really helped us tell a beautiful story.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
was a bit worried that I was monopolising too much of the investigation time from you guys.
No, not at all.
Nope, not even a little bit.
I think it was nice. It gave it a dynamic, but again, down to the pre-gens, gave us purpose.
Yeah, so the links between the pre-gens was brilliant because they all had to be there for the same purpose, but they were all kind of a little bit different and would clash at times. Like Joey, I don't think was set up to really work with anyone because he was just obnoxious and loud and whatever. And I like there was like the friction with Bill, but I mean that's all just down to how the pre-gens are written, and I think that's really good. Yeah, sell for the scenario for sure.
Cool.
Well, I think on that note, we will draw the curtain on tonight's performance. Thank you all for joining us. And just also a big thank you to Bridgett from Symphony Entertainment, who has come here and joined us today to play with us. So very much huge thank you for doing that. We are huge fans of yours, and it's a lovely treat for us to have you here. In the meantime, if you've been watching us, if you've been listening to us and you'd like to submit your scenario for us to have a look at, then please do email a copy of your scenario or send it through through RPG to miskatonicplayhouse@gmail.com, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much.
Bye.
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 Can I be slightly annoying? Can I be slightly annoying, Newman? And can we do that again a little bit and just give Bridgett a space along the lines of, is there anything you want to plug? So Bridgett can do the thing that Bridgett no doubt needs to do, which is to say some shout outs. Because that is Bridgett's job.
Absolutely. Okay. Right. I'll do that again. Do you want me to use that phrase, Bridgett? Bridgett, is there anything you'd like to plug? I've heard that being said quite a fair few times, actually.
I'm completely okay with that tee up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, and as we draw the curtain on tonight's performance, we thank you very much for joining us. And our guest this evening, Bridgett from Symphony Entertainment. Bridgett, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Woo, yeah, thank you for the opportunity. One, I just want to say a huge thank you to the Miskatonic Playhouse. You guys came out swinging. Oh my goodness. Marketing, branding, communication, interviews with Chaosium, ambassadors, just one, thank you for being so intentional, and thank you for bringing so much humility and so much praise to community content creators, because it helps community content creators like me feel seen. And I think that's really amazing that just a group of people got together and said, let's kick ass and celebrate fellow creators. So one, a huge applause to you all. Two, if you are looking to write for the Miskatonic Repository, which is Chaosium's 7th edition Call of Cthulhu hub for community content, but you're either intimidated, you don't know how to get started, or you're just like, you have options. One, the Miskatonic Playhouse has a Discord and a Facebook and a group where you can actually connect with people there. And if you're just looking for something more technical or you need general cheerleading, feel free to email me. My email is bridgett@chaosium.com. That is a bridge that you walk across with 2 T's at chaosium.com. So thank you for the plug. I appreciate it. Mostly was celebrating you guys, but totally worth it because this was an incredible experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I feel like you've just said everything that I wanted to say, but just a lot better. So thank you. If you're listening to this and you would like to have your community content scenario played by the Miskatonic Playhouse, drop us a line, get in touch. You can get in touch with us. Send us either through DriveThruRPG or just email direct to the miskatonicplayhouse@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Good evening and good night.
Bye.
Bye.
That concludes the Alpaca in the Sheepfield. Look out for the Inside the Mind interview with John Hall, the author of this scenario.
Thank you for being a wonderful audience. And of course, thank you to the team working behind the scenes at Miskatonic Playhouse. Until next time, when the curtain rises again.
Hi, I'm Hedge. I'm the backstage manager for Miskatonic Playhouse. It's my job to whip everyone in line and solve problems. In June 2021, I wrote a scenario called Alpaca in the Sheepfield. This was the first scenario I'd ever published, and I did it through the Storytelling Collective. It was a 1-month workshop intended to help you go from absolute beginner to published author. The material was really impressive. I learned a lot of context for publishing. I'd done some writing before, but it was just so nice that the course held your hand through all the tricky steps, like turning your words into something that could be uploaded and published online. If you want to give it a go, the collective runs their courses throughout the year. It's a great way to jump in, join the community, and who knows, maybe one day we'll be playing your scenario here on the Miskatonic Playhouse.